Module 3, Investment Decisions. Topic 3.1, Capital Budgeting. Basic meaning of heading. Capital budgeting means making decisions about spending big money today on things, like land, buildings, machines, that will give benefits in future, not immediately. 3.11, Meaning and definition of capital budgeting. What is capital budgeting? Capital budgeting equals planning how to spend money on long-term assets, like machines, buildings that earn profits over many years. These assets are not bought to sell immediately, but to use in business. Key points with emojis. 1, it is a long-term investment decision. You spend now, get returns in future, after 1 year or more. 2, assets involved, not for sale. Example, land, building, machinery, furniture, used for business, not to sell. 3, scientific evaluation. Every project is checked logically and with planning to choose the best option. 4, capital expenditure versus revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure equals benefits come later, after 1 year. Revenue expenditure equals benefits come within the year. Definitions, simplified emoji style. Charles T. Horngren, capital budgeting is long-term planning for spending and arranging money for big investments. Robert N. Anthony, capital budget equals list of valuable projects, plus cost estimates for buying new assets. Milton H. Spencer, it is planning to spend on things which give profits in the future. Real-life example for easy understanding. Imagine you're a finance officer in a bank. You suggest to head office to install new ATMs in rural areas. Cost is high, but in 3 years, these ATMs will increase transactions, brand trust, and customer base, equals more revenue. This is capital budgeting, investing now for future gain. Summary. Capital budgeting equals long-term investment decisions used to buy big assets like machines or buildings, not for sale, but to help business grow. Involves careful checking before investing, difference from revenue expense, timing of returns. Banking industry insight of the day. Topic 8, all about Basel norms. Subtopic, Basel 3. Global banking rule to make banks stronger. It was started after 2008 crisis to reduce of bank failure. It says banks must keep enough capital plus liquidity to face losses and keep running smoothly. As a future finance manager in a bank, knowing Basel III helps you take safe investment and lending decisions. Ready for next concept?
Module 3, Investment Decisions. Topic 3.1.2, Features of Capital Budgeting. Basic meaning of features. Features mean special qualities or key points of capital budgeting that make it different from other decisions. Features of capital budgeting. 1. Long-term investment only. Capital budgeting is used only for long-term projects like new building, machinery, land. Short-term decisions are not part of this. 2. Invest now, get returns later. You spend money today, but earn profits gradually in future. Example, finance officer installs solar panels on a bank roof. It saves electricity cost over 10 years. 3. Focus is on cash flow. You check how much cash goes out, cash outflow, and how much comes in over time. Profit is not just on paper. Real cash flow matters. 4. One or more projects can be compared. You can decide between one project or choose from 2 or more exclusive projects. Example, bank finance manager compares branch renovation versus new ATM launch. Only one can be selected. 5. Business value maximization is goal. Select the project that gives more value to the company in future. Not emotional or risky, it should grow the company's worth. Real-life example for finance officer role. As a finance officer in a private bank, you recommend buying a new cash sorting machine worth 10 lakhs. Even though it's costly now, it will reduce time, errors, and salary costs over 5 years. Capital budgeting helps you decide if this investment is really worth it. Summary for quick revision. Long-term investments only. Spend today, get benefits later. Focus on cash inflow and outflow. Compare one or more projects. Goal is to increase business value. Banking awareness insight of the day. Topic 16 mutual funds. Subtopic types of mutual funds. Mutual funds collect money from many investors and invest in stocks, bonds, etc. Types: equity funds, high risk, high return. Debt funds, low risk, fixed income. Hybrid funds, mix of both. As a finance officer, suggesting right fund to clients builds trust and loyalty. Module 3 Investment Decisions. Topic 3.1.3 Types of Capital Budgeting. Meaning of types of capital budgeting. It tells us where companies invest their big money, like for growth, new machines, new businesses, or even research. 1. Expansion and diversification. I. Expansion. When company increases production of the same product. Example, a urea factory increases capacity from 1,000 to 1,500 tons to meet rising demand. Why? More demand, more production, more profits. I. Diversification. When company enters a new business line. Example, HDFC Housing Finance started HDFC Bank in 1993. Why? More opportunities in banking, more revenue streams. 2. Replacement and modernization. Replace old machines with modern tech to reduce cost and improve speed. Example, a paper factory installs automatic machines instead of manual ones. Why? Less cost plus more efficiency plus more profit. 3. Mutually exclusive investments. Choose only one from similar options. Example, a company needs one machine. 1. Semi-automatic, less costly, labor-heavy. 2. Fully automatic, expensive, tech-based. Company picks only one, TAP rejects other. Why? Choose best option using capital budgeting. 4. Independent investments. Totally different proposals. Can accept both, one, or none. Example, 1. Increase car production. 2. Start making mobile phones. Why? No link between them, decisions made separately. 5. Contingent investments. One investment depends on another. Example, starting a medical college needs a hostel, extra cost. Why? Main project can't run without the second one. 6. Research and development, R&D. Money spent on innovation and future tech. Example, pharma companies invest in new drug R&D. Why? Long-term growth, but returns uncertain. Decision made by top management. Tools used, decision trees, option analysis. 7. Miscellaneous projects. Projects with no direct returns for luxury or aesthetics. Examples, buying executive jets, making gardens, interior design of office. Why? Based on management's choice, not financial returns. Summary. Capital budgeting includes 7 types of investments, used to decide where to put long-term money. Goals, profit, efficiency, growth, innovation. Key role for a finance manager in a bank or company is to pick the right projects using capital budgeting. Insight into banking industry. Topic 13 NPCI and its products. Subtopic UPI, Unified Payments Interface. UPI is developed by NPCI and launched in 2016. It allows instant bank-to-bank transfers using mobile without IFSC or account number. India now handles more than 12 billion UPI transactions a month, 2025. Why it matters for finance officers. Understanding UPI helps in digital finance management, cashless banking, and offering faster customer service in any bank. Ready for the next topic? Main heading 3.4 Process of Capital Budgeting. Meaning, this means the step-by-step procedure a company follows to decide where to invest its long-term funds. in projects like a new factory, branch, ATM center, or machinery. As a future finance officer in a bank or big company, you must understand these steps clearly because capital budgeting is the heart of financial decision making. Capital budgeting process equals 5 important stages. Stage 1, investment screening and selection, meaning different departments like marketing, production, R&D suggest investment ideas. These ideas must match with the company's goals and policies. The main focus, will this project increase future cash flow? Example, if you're a finance officer at SBI and the IT department proposes a new mobile banking feature, you first check whether it adds value to the bank in the future. Stage 2, capital budget proposal, meaning after screening, the selected ideas are formed into detailed proposals. It includes how much investment is needed and expected income. Departments like finance, marketing, engineering, etc. share data to finalize project proposals. Example, as a finance officer, you receive a proposal for opening 10 new ATM kiosks. You collect cost data, expected usage and profits, then analyze which branches need it most. Stage 3, budgeting approval and authorization. Meaning, after full analysis, management gives approval and authorization for selected projects. In some companies, authorization comes first, then final approval. Smaller projects equals quick decision by management. Big investments, careful step-by-step check. Example, a company wants to buy land for a new plant. Since it's a big investment, you take permission from top executives and maybe board of directors. Stage 4, project tracking. Meaning, once the project starts, regular monitoring is done to check cost, timeline, any problems. This helps keep the project under control. Any issue like extra cost overrun, is quickly fixed. Example, if cost of setting up a new SBI ATM goes 20% above budget, as a finance officer, you immediately report it and suggest solutions like negotiating with vendor. Stage 5, post-completion audit. Meaning, after the project is complete and has run for some time, a few are reviewed again. Purpose equals, check if actual profits matched expected profits. This helps improve future decisions. Example, after 3 years of launching a new digital loan portal, audit checks if it generated the cash flow as expected. If not, you analyze what went wrong. Summary with emojis. Capital budgeting process equals 5 steps. 1, screening and selection. You out ideas from departments. 2, proposal, data, cost, and benefit report. 3, approval, management green signal. 4, tracking, monitor cost and progress. 5, audit, compare real versus expected results. These steps help finance officers make smart investment decisions and avoid waste of funds. It's all about using company money wisely to grow. Banking industry insight, topic, RBI and its functions. Subtopic, monetary authority function of RBI. The RBI controls inflation and maintains economic stability by changing interest rates using monetary policy tools like repo rate, rate at which RBI lends to banks, reverse repo rate, rate at which RBI borrows from banks, CRSLR. Banks must keep a portion of money with RBI for safety. When inflation rises, RBI increases repo rate to make loans costly and reduce spending. When economy slows, RBI lowers rates to boost borrowing and business. As a future finance officer, you must understand how RBI moves impact bank lending and investment planning. Topic meaning first. What are factors influencing capital budgeting? This means the important things a company should check before investing in any big project, like buying a new building, opening a branch, or launching a new product. These things affect how, when, and where to invest. 3.1.5 Factors influencing capital budgeting. Let's understand each point in simple, short, and emoji-filled way, like you're a finance officer deciding on big investments in a bank or company. 1. Availability of funds. If money is not available, no project can be done. If your company or bank doesn't have enough funds, you may have to delay or cancel projects. Example: as a finance officer in a bank, if you're planning to start a new branch but don't have budget approved, you'll need to put it on hold. Future earnings. Every project is expected to earn money in future. We select projects that give the best cash inflows over time. Example: if one ATM gives 10,000 per month and another gives 15,000, choose the second one for higher return. 3. Compliance with statutory provisions. Follow government and legal rules while selecting projects. Even if a project earns well but breaks environmental or health rules, it cannot be approved. Example: opening a factory that pollutes air won't be allowed unless it meets pollution standards. 4. Risks involved. Every project has some risk: losses, failure, market change. We must try to predict risks and manage them carefully. Example: a new digital banking platform might fail if customers don't adopt it. You need to study the technology risk. 5. Urgency. Some projects need to be done immediately, others can wait. Projects are ranked by urgency and importance. Example: if an ATM is damaged, replacing it is urgent, but installing a new one in a new area can wait. 6. Research and development projects. Investing in new technology or products helps stay ahead. Especially in tech-driven companies, R&D is key for innovation and survival. Example: banks investing in AI chatbots or UPI upgrades to compete with fintech. 7. Competitors' activities. If competitors are investing in new areas, you may also have to act. This helps you stay competitive and not lose customers. Example: if HDFC starts a new mobile app, ICICI Bank may also need to improve its app to stay in the race. 8. Integral emotional factors. Sometimes decisions are taken for reputation, employee welfare, or social reasons. These may not give immediate profit, but build goodwill. Example: a company builds a free clinic for workers. It improves employee morale and public image. Summary: capital budgeting is not just about profits. A finance manager must check funds, earnings, risks, laws, urgency, R&D, rivals, and social impact. A smart investment plan equals more growth, less risk, plus more value. Banking Knowledge Insight. Topic: RBI and its functions from list number 3. Subtopic: RBI as banker to the government. RBI acts as banker, debt manager, and financial advisor to both central and state governments. It manages government's bank accounts, handles receipt and payments, manages public debt, bonds, borrowings, even prints currency under legal limit. This makes RBI the chief financial guardian for India's government money matters. Send me your next Topic 3.1.6 Uses, Importance of Capital Budgeting. Before we start, let's understand the heading itself. What is capital budgeting? It's the process of planning and deciding where a business should invest its money in long-term assets like factories, machines, projects, etc. What does uses importance mean? It means, why is capital budgeting useful? What are the main benefits or reasons it's important for a company or a finance officer to do it properly? Capital budgeting is super important for finance officers. Let's explore each point in a very simple and powerful way with emojis, examples, and key ideas. 1. Long-term effects. Once a capital budgeting decision is taken, it's not easy to reverse. If a wrong choice is made, big losses can happen. Example: imagine you're a finance officer in a company. You approved 100 crores to build a factory in a village, but later you realize the environment clearance was missing. Now the factory is half built and cannot be completed. Loss of money, time, and efforts. Key point to remember: capital budgeting, one wrong decision, long-term loss. 2. Risk and uncertainty. In capital budgeting, investment happens now, but the returns come later. Future is uncertain. Market trends, economy, technology, all may change. Example: you approve 50 crores to invest in electric bikes. expecting big returns in 5 years. But what if government changes rules or competitors launch cheaper models? You can't be 100% sure what will happen later. Key point to remember: more years equals more risk. 3. Large funds. Capital projects need huge investment. So if you make a mistake, huge loss. Example, as a bank's finance officer, you approve 500 crores loan to a company to build a metro line. If their planning fails, your bank's money is at high risk. Key point to remember: big decisions with big money at stake. 4. Corporate image and reputation. Capital budgeting affects companies' profit, which affects dividends to shareholders, share price in market, companies' goodwill. Example, if you choose a profitable project, company earns more, investors are happy, and share prices rise. But if project fails, shares fall, investors lose trust. Key point to remember: good budgeting, good image, and growth. Summary: what to remember: 1. Irreversible decisions. 1 wrong step equals big loss. 2. Uncertain returns. Future is never 100% predictable. 3. Huge investment involved. Handle money smartly. 4. Impacts company's reputation. Affects shares, goodwill, and dividends. Example for your role as future finance officer. If you become a finance officer at SBI, you'll be reviewing large projects, like opening branches, funding startups, giving business loans. Your capital budgeting skills will help avoid risky projects and choose wisely for long-term profit. Banking knowledge insight. Topic: 5. Financial markets in India. Subtopic: capital market. Insight: India's capital market includes primary market, where companies issue new shares (IPOs), secondary market, where existing shares are traded, like NSE, BSE. As a finance officer, you should track capital market trends to make smart investment or funding decisions. Topic meaning before we begin. We are studying difficulties in capital budgeting. Capital budgeting means deciding where to invest long-term money for maximum returns. But this decision is not always easy. Many challenges make it tough to predict the future. Let's understand these difficulties with easy examples, emojis, and in short, sharp points. 3.17 Difficulties in capital budgeting. 1. Future uncertainty. Capital budgeting is mostly for long-term projects, like opening a new branch, launching a new product, or buying machinery. Even after careful planning, future results, profit or loss, may go wrong. Uncertainty exists in cash outflow, cost of project; cash inflow, returns from project. Example, imagine you're a finance officer in a bank, funding a 10-year solar plant. If government rules change or raw material prices increase, the project may not give expected returns. So finance managers must be very analytical and technical to manage this risk. 2. Time element. Projects take a lot of time, from start to finish. Cash outflow, investment, happens at the beginning. Cash inflow, returns, happens slowly over many years. But money has time value. 100 today is not same as 100 after 5 years. More time equals more risk and uncertainty. Example, suppose your bank invests 1 crore in 2025 to build a digital payment system, but earnings will only start in 2029. Can you be sure of future usage or competition? 3. Measurement problem. Sometimes it's hard to measure exact costs or benefits of a project in numbers. Indirect effects create confusion. Example, you launch a new credit card in your bank. It increases overall profit, but is that because of the new card or because people took more loans? Hard to measure exactly. Many such effects can overlap and confuse the actual result. Summary, key points to remember. Future is uncertain. Even best plans can go wrong. Long time equals more risk. Adjust for time value of money. Measuring profit is tricky. Indirect effects confuse actual gain loss. Financial term of the lesson. Time value of money, TVM. 1 today is more valuable than 1 tomorrow because you can invest it today and earn interest. used to evaluate whether a project's future earnings are worth today's investment. Banking Awareness Insight. Topic: RBI and its functions. Subtopic: RBI, banker to the government. RBI acts as a banker for both central and state governments. It handles receipts and payments, manages public debt, and even advises the government on financial matters. Just like your bank account tracks your income and spending, RBI tracks and manages the country's finances. RBI plays a key role in budget management, subsidies, and interest payments, similar to how a finance officer in a company manages the company's accounts. Ready for the next